As of right now, it don't look like Buddy trying to get in that ring right now. I mean, just off the simple fact that they didn't reach out. Obviously, like whoever represents him or whatever the case may be, like they ain't reach out and say, all right, we still on track for XYZ. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, if they pushed it back or they didn't or not. So, I mean, again, they can any day, but you know what I'm saying? That's really what's going on. But like I told y'all before, you know what I'm saying? We not sitting around waiting for, bro. Like at the end of the day, I see it as an escape route. But
Lamont Roach may be forced to move on without Gervonta Tank Davis. He says he is not going to sit around and wait for Tank Davis to come back to the table and figure out his life or whatever. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. Ego thoughts. Let's get into it. Now, you guys seen the clip. Lamont Roach, he's basically saying he's tired of waiting. He's not going to wait all day for Gervonta Davis to decide if he's coming back, when he's coming back. As we know, there have been some hiccups. There have been some reported dates for a rematch. There's a lot of speculation going on as far as when the rematch will happen. Does Tank want the rematch? Will it not happen? All this stuff. I got multiple things to say on that front. But overall, Lamont Roach is tired of waiting. And I think it serves him right. And I'm going to explain why. I always explain in these videos. For one, you are the B-side. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're the B-side. That's what B-sides have to do. They have to wait until they become the leverage position, the A-sides. You got to wait for the A-side. That's one thing. But the other thing is you have Lamont Roach, who seemed to be like a stand-up dude, kind of just underappreciated in the sport of boxing. And then he has this fight with Tank. And I don't think that he was used to having this type of fans or fanfare or even attention. So he kind of overstayed his welcome really quickly, where now he's a streamer and he's streaming. And that's cool. I'm not mad at somebody streaming. I stream, right? But he took this draw and he tried to do a bit much with it, if I'm being honest, right? The fact is, Tank or you didn't show enough separation to the judges, which is reasonable. This wasn't a robbery. A lot of people, because they don't like Tank, they try to frame this as a robbery. Lamont Roach was off to a slow start. In fact, the fight was really going Tank's way up until the knee thing, and that kind of woke Lamont Roach up and created kind of a controversy for people to fall back on. But it looked like a standard Tank fight. He was looking for his openings. Lamont Roach wasn't like really engaging. He was just trying to counter things like that. So Lamont Roach took this draw and he like went on like a Edgar Berlanga, almost like a victory tour. For me, where I'm from, we don't do that. No participation trophies. I'm not doing a celebration when I came up short. Point blank, period. Right? And that's just the reality. But to each his own, Lamont Roach handled it his own way. Another reason why I say good for him that he's experiencing this is because when Tank had the situation with the female, Lamont Roach, with this newfound like attention that he's not used to, he got on social media and he was like making fun pretty much of Tank for getting arrested and the mugshot and all that type of stuff, right? And he was like posting Bishop from Juice, this ninja scared, all this type of stuff. And then he tried to revert back to kind of a street dude. And he was like, man, I really hope bruh's good, because I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Then why are you posting like memes and all this extra stuff if you really felt that way? So you're kind of taunting Tank for going through legal woes. Kind of weird, right? Same thing with Bill Haney. Bill Haney says he's a street dude from Oakland, but he was passing out Tank's mugshots like they were Skittles. That's weird if you're a street dude to be that you're like celebrating somebody potentially getting jammed up over a female or in the system. Weird. But moving on, you were trying to pick fun and you literally said this ninja scared from Juice, right? And then he said a lot of people asking me if the Tank fight's happening, and he's like, it's happening. He's like, yeah, it's definitely happening. It's still gonna happen in August, blah, blah, blah. But I thought you just said the man was scared. You see where we're running into a problem now? First, when he had the mugshot, you said he was scared. Then you assured your fans that the fight was still on and it was still gonna happen and people need to hold their horses. Now you're doing a video kind of crying on social media or on your new streaming career, talking about you're sick of waiting. So it's kind of funny because I don't know what's going on. Tank sounds like he's playing games with him, or maybe he's really going through some different things where he's deciding what's his next move. I don't know. But the boxing game is looking super corny because I don't know. And if I don't know, I tell you guys, I don't know. This all kind of falls on Tank. I don't know what his next move is. Maybe he does the rematch and it's just at a different date. When you're the A side, you have the leverage, so you make people wait. Maybe it's a psychological thing. Maybe he's really going through something. Maybe he's determining if he wants to box anymore. I don't know. But this is why I'm saying the game is looking chopped. You have people making up and filling in the blanks. When I was a kid, there was this game called Mad Libs, and it was a story with a bunch of blanks, and then it would tell you it would say adjective or verb or noun, and you would go through the story without knowing what the story was. You would just go through each blank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and whatever it called for, an adjective, a verb, a pronoun, a noun, you would have different people in the class fill it out. Then you read back the story with all the adjectives and words that people infused into the story. That is boxing media right now. When they don't have the truth, like you have content creators who will clickbait you to death and they'll just make it up. Tank scared, Tank retired, Tank this, the rematch is happening. And the reality is nobody outside of Tank Davis himself truly knows what's going on, right? A lot of people, they want to act like they're connected to the source and my source told me this and that. And then they're going to look crunchy if what they say doesn't happen. So for me, I'm a grown man. I'm not into this like high school gossipy stuff. It is what it is. Whatever Tank decides, I'll report on it. Not any sooner. You know what I mean? So I don't know what Tank's doing. I don't know what his plan is, but come back to my channel for the best boxing news. I'm the best in the business and it's not even close. And I will let you know what's going on. A lot of people, they're just like passing time and trying to fill up space and content. Let me make 5 Tank videos and really none of them are talking about nothing because we don't know what's up with Tank. But people will say, oh, behind the scenes, somebody told me this, but then they can't reveal their sources. And you guys, if you fall for it, that's on you. But over here, if you're part of this community, we deal in facts over feelings, and it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Lamont Roach getting tired of waiting, but you're a B-side. You got to wait. Or move on. Fight Shakur. Fight Shakur Stevenson. Fight Floyd Schofield. Move on if you really feel that way, you know? But going to stream to like kind of complain about it, you're a B-side, bro. You're a B-side. That's what B-sides do. You don't have the leverage. You didn't win. The fight was a draw. So you got to wait.